All right, so the first step in doing your own very high resolution satellite imagery analysis is going to be to set up a PlanetLabs account. And so you can do that by going to planet.com. It'll bring this up and you'll go to sign up rather than sign in. Type in your email address, consent to receive the activation email, say you're not a robot, hit sign up. And so you'll get an activation email and then they'll have a link, you'll click that. It'll bring up kind of a web page where you have to fill in all kinds of little bubbles, saying your name, what organization you work with, just be like Middlebury, say you're a student or research assistant, whatever the case might be. And then you'll say you're using it for educational purposes, not selling to the US government, et cetera, et cetera. And basically that's how you set up your PlanetLabs account. The other thing that's important is when you set that up, it's just going to be a basic trial with, base map access, that kind of thing. You're going to want to go to Planet Education and Research to apply for 5,000 square kilometers per month, which, gives you a little bit more access to actual scenes rather than just the base map tiles that are kind of their default. So you'll put in your name, the email address you signed up with, your university, all these different things. You'll have to provide a link to some kind of work, maybe even just, the department website for Middlebury Geography. If you have some kind of portfolio you could link that, otherwise just say not available. And then you'll talk about, doing research. You can describe what you're trying to do. They've got these questions just to kind of screen who they set up an account for. And so that's how you set up your PlanetLabs account. And once you've got it set up, it'll look something like this. I'll show you what I've got set up here. Oh wait, this is the sign up. I need to sign in since I already have the account. So I'll sign in and then you can see I've got this basic trial, which is kind of what they give you right away. And then the education and research standard, which is what you have to apply for. And that allows you to get those 5,000 square kilometers per month. I haven't used any this month. I actually overused square kilometers in 1 month and then it was kind of frozen for a bit. So make sure that you're using less than or equal to those 5,000 square kilometers per month. Alternatively, you do have access to base maps. And so those are kind of just tiles that are maybe a little less frequent revisit time, lower temporal resolution, if you will, and sometimes less spatial resolution as well. So basically, the ways that you're going to find data in Planet, you can go to Planet Explorer, and that's kind of the typical way of finding an image. Let's say I'm just going to look at Vermont today. So I'll zoom in here. I'll look at Middlebury, why not? And I'll draw sort of a square of what I'm kind of interested in. Click to place first vertex. Just looking at the town of Middlebury. And it'll come up with all these different images. It's saying purchase access for some reason. Maybe that's because it doesn't like me since I went over my limit of imagery at one point. Unless it's just that it's super recent. No, it's just not loving the fact that I may have used too much, I guess. Anyways, this is how you look for imagery. It brings up all these different scenes. You can kind of just click through to see which ones suit your purposes. The important things are you can filter by the type of image you want. Usually I go for the ortho tiles just because those ones are a little bit better corrected. And I'll usually go for 100% coverage of the area that I'm kind of interested in. Usually I try and limit the cloud cover so that I'm not getting super cloudy images. And then I'll hit filter, whatever, that button. It'll load results. Sometimes cloudy images still show up because they're not so cloudy elsewhere outside of the little square you've drawn. But you can generally find some pretty sharp images. You can zoom in. At a certain point, it'll tell you if you're over zoomed, which is if you're looking, if you're looking too closely at an image, then it will get upset at you. But basically that's the gist of finding some high resolution satellite imagery using Planet Explorer. Now, if you wanted to do a base map, you can go to Base Maps Viewer. And let's say I'm still interested in Middlebury. I can zoom in here. I'm sure there's an easier way to get directly to Middlebury. But you can scroll through here and they've got base maps going all the way back pretty much to January 2016. Maybe I'll look at first quarter of 2022, view quads and scenes. I'll draw a little area as I did the other method. And then it'll show you the quads or the tiles that it found. And those are pretty easy to download. You just go and hit download quad. And you'll notice that as I'm hovering over these, it shows the kind of dashed outline of where those quads are. So I'll just hit download and see what that looks like. It's a 41 megabyte tile. With the actual scenes in Planet Explorer, if you go through to the download process, it's currently not letting me, but basically you choose what you want, you hit order scenes, and then it'll show up in this list of your orders. It'll say kind of processing or whatever for a while, and then eventually it'll give you a link to download once it's available.